Stop thinking Nvidia is just a GPU company. Seriously. If you believe Nvidia's future depends on selling chips to China, you haven't been listening to Jensen Huang. Here is the counterintuitive truth that every Nvidia investor needs to understand: Nvidia's China revenue has fallen to zero. CEO Jensen Huang admitted, Nvidia had 90-some-odd% of the world's market share. Today in China, they have now dropped to zero. The company once earned nearly $20 billion from China in a single year. Now, they're not including any China data center revenue in their outlook. But here's the twist: Nvidia is replacing that entire business with Vera CPUs. $200 billion total addressable market. $20 billion in revenue visibility this year alone. Nvidia could become the world's leading CPU supplier, surpassing AMD and Intel in the AI CPU market. Let me break down the pivot, the risks, and what it means for the stock. I'll admit something: when I heard China revenue hit zero, I thought, this is a disaster. Then I read about Vera CPU. And I realized, Nvidia is not sitting still. They're building a new business. Today, I'm going to break down Nvidia's massive pivot. By the end, you will understand why Nvidia is a different company than it was 12 months ago. Stay with me. Let's start with the bad news. The numbers: in fiscal 2024, Nvidia earned $19.7 billion from China. Last year, revenue from China fell by roughly half to approximately $4.5 billion in Q1. Now, CEO Jensen Huang says zero. In China, we have now dropped to zero. The licenses: the US government has approved licenses for H200 chips to be shipped to China-based customers. But Nvidia has yet to generate any revenue from them. The CFO's statement: they are not including any China data center compute revenue in their outlook. The counterintuitive truth: Nvidia has accepted the loss. China is not coming back. The pivot is on. Now let me show you the replacement. Vera CPU, Nvidia's first standalone CPU for AI. It has 88 custom Olympus cores, 1.2 terabytes per second memory bandwidth, and 50% faster per core performance. The opportunity: CFO Colette Kress calls it a brand new $200 billion total addressable market. The visibility: Nvidia has line of sight to $20 billion in CPU revenue this year. The volume: BofA estimates Nvidia could ship 4 million to 5 million Vera CPUs in the first 2 quarters after launch. Average selling price: $4,000 to $5,000 per chip. The customer list: OpenAI, Anthropic, SpaceX, and Oracle are already deploying Vera CPUs. The counterintuitive truth: Nvidia could become the world's leading CPU supplier, surpassing AMD and Intel in the AI CPU market. Now let me show you the math. China revenue before the ban was roughly $20 billion annually. Vera CPU revenue this year is roughly $20 billion. Perfect offset. The opportunity beyond year one: BofA estimates Nvidia's CPU revenue could grow to $20 billion in just the second half of fiscal 2027. The full stack play: Nvidia is packing CPUs, networking, storage, and interconnects around its GPUs. BofA estimates Nvidia's content per gigawatt could rise from $40 billion to $60 to $80 billion with Rubin. The counterintuitive truth: Nvidia is not just replacing China revenue. They're building a full stack AI platform. CPUs are the second pillar. Now let me talk about the stock. Current valuation: 22 times forward earnings. BofA says unusually cheap. Analyst targets: Bank of America at $350. HSBC at $325. Citi at $300. Goldman Sachs at $285. The consensus: 95% of analysts have a buy rating. The 2022 warning: Nvidia fell 66% during the 2022 inflation shock, versus a 25.4% decline for the S&P 500. The risk: if CPU revenue doesn't deliver, Nvidia could face a double blow. The counterintuitive truth: Nvidia is priced for perfection. If Vera disappoints, the downside is severe. Let me leave you with the 3 secrets that connect everything we just discussed. Secret 1, the China silence trap. Nvidia stopped talking about China for a reason. Not because they forgot, because they gave up. The company is not including any China revenue in their outlook. Believe them. Secret 2, the CPU pivot opportunity. $200 billion TAM. $20 billion revenue this year. If Vera delivers, the stock could re-rate. The market is still pricing Nvidia as a GPU company. The CPU story is not fully priced in. Secret 3, the execution risk reality. Nvidia fell 66% in 2022. If Vera fails, the stock could repeat that history. This is high risk, high reward. Diversify your position. So what should you actually do with this information? If you own Nvidia stock, the China loss is permanent. The CPU pivot is real. Watch the next earnings report. CPU revenue update is critical. If Vera delivers $20 billion, the stock could go higher. If you are a trader, Nvidia is trading at 22 times forward earnings. Analyst targets imply 25 to 57% upside. But volatility is extreme. Use stops. If you are skeptical, Nvidia has priced in perfect execution. If Vera disappoints, the stock could fall 20 to 30%. Diversify. Don't put all your wealth in one stock. The counterintuitive truth: Nvidia is a different company than it was 12 months ago. GPU king is becoming CPU leader too. But execution risk is real. Here is my question for you. Do you think Nvidia's Vera CPU pivot will succeed, or is the $200 billion TAM too optimistic? Drop your answer in the comments. I read every single one. Like and subscribe if you want more analysis on the companies reshaping the AI industry. I'll see you in the next video.